In all, 6 of the top 10 nations in terms of oil reserves are, in one way or another, inhibited from exporting their oil in full, mostly because of U.S. actions. Venezuela claims the current protests there are organized by Washington. 3 of the top 10 nations are Gulf monarchies, friendly with the U.S. Then there's Iran under U.S. sanctions, and Iraq, which is recovering from a U.S. invasion. A number of Russian energy firms and their bosses have been sanctioned over Ukraine, and Libya is in chaos after U.S. intervention. As for theories that American forays abroad were aimed at taking over energy supplies, that's a myth, according to a founding member of the Pro-Civil Rights International Action Center. William Doris says the real aim was simply destroying the competition.
The rise in U.S. oil energy production is made possible by massive investment in hydraulic fracking. And that is made possible by the high price of oil that is obtained since the U.S. invaded Iraq and destroyed its state-owned oil industry. The war in Iraq was the best thing that ever happened for ExxonMobil and Chevron and the biggest U.S. oil producers. It took like 10% of the world's oil supply off the market. That's what the sanctions were about. That's what the sanctions in Iran are about. Syria is not a major oil producer, but it is a potential route for Iranian oil to reach the Mediterranean. Basically, war in the Middle East, whether it's the destruction of Iraq or the bombing of Libya, the sanctions on Iran, have served to keep prices high and restrict production, which has given the U.S. a big edge. It's a myth that U.S. so-called energy self-sufficiency will lead to less U.S. overseas military involvement. In fact, it will lead to more.